Hi everybody, my name is Kevin Kane and I am the developer behind StackTracer. StackTracer is a web application that helps developers and software teams document and manage the services that their applications depend on. The inspiration behind this app is my own experience working on development teams and managing large portfolios of websites. And I've seen how over the course of time, an application starts off easy to maintain can quickly become something that nobody can keep track of, and nobody knows why certain services and third-party integrations are added. And I believe that documentation of your services and your application in general is key to long-term maintainability. And that's the reason I built StackTracer. I'm going to walk you through how StackTracer works, not only for individuals, but also for teams. And hopefully you'll be able to see how this could make an immediate impact on your organization. I'll start by going to the dashboard. This would be your personal view. This is where you would add any projects that you're working on. If you have an individual portfolio, as you can see, we have an example project, which allows you to see kind of what each of your projects would look like once you start adding them. Each one comes with services, and this is just a template that I've been using. In your dashboard view, what you're going to want to do is add new projects. So you get this nice form that you would complete. It has your project name, any of the statuses for the project. You can include a GitHub URL for easy reference, a live URL, and then this is the most important part. This is where you start documenting the services that your application depends on. And something that, some services that I personally love to add are databases, especially databases that not only fulfill your data storage, but, your media uploads, any of your authentication. I also put all of my DNS information because I'm constantly adding new records for other services like Google Search Console, email integrations, all sorts of different things. You would add your service name and then set a status. And then each service comes with a markdown editor. And this is where you would include all of the relevant information that will help make your application more maintainable. So some things that I've seen in my experience that are very important is keeping track of different dashboard URLs. How did you log into this service? Is it an OAuth provider? What is the email that you use to log into this? If you're juggling multiple emails and different accounts, this type of stuff can get lost over time. Different tiers, billing emails, all of this stuff can easily get lost. And then we get into why is this service being used? This is pretty self-explanatory, but things like this they have to be documented if you want to come back to the project in 6 months and understand why am I using this service. You got to write it down. And then we also talk about any sort of specific configurations or settings that are important to note, any sort of gotchas, edge cases, all this type of stuff, so that you and then your team can be on the same page. And after you add one service, keep going, add as many as you need. I'm going to quickly just create a project here. We'll just call it example project 1 because why not? And it's in development. Here's where we would include a GitHub URL or live URL. Supabase, this is a database that I use a lot. Put a status on it. And then, I can either delete all of this, but just for the sake of this demo, I'm going to keep it. But this is where you would include all of the relevant information about the service. So I'll create the project. And that'll take us back to our dashboard view. And here you can see our project. The next part of StackTracer that is obviously very relevant to teams is our organizations feature. So here I've already created an organization. This is 10x Dev. This is the company that I have, and I've included a bunch of the different projects that I'm working on. And here is where you can see exactly how I'm using this for my advantage. I include all of the different projects and then each of the different services that these projects rely on. So I've got all these Google services, Supabase, Stripe, Namecheap, my DNS provider. I've got Resend, and I filled this out completely, given great documentation. And the point is that I can come back to this in months or a year, read this quickly without having to go through GitHub repos or anything like that. And I have a nice dashboard view of my project. The next thing that I'd like to show is, this is part of an organization. Here you can find the different members of your team and then quickly reach out to them via email. And you get an entire admin panel. So this allows you to invite team members, promote members from member to admin. This is admin only access, and gives you full control over your organization. I hope you've enjoyed this demonstration and see some value in StackTracer. And if you have any questions, feel free to go to stacktracer.io. I've got a contact form, or you can reach out to me at kevin@10xdev.io. Thank you.